Are you bored and looking for something new to play? This video is for you. These games aren't just good, they grab your attention fast and keep you hooked for hours. Here are the 20 must-play games if you're bored right now. The Callisto Protocol is one of those games that fits perfectly when you're bored and want something dark and intense. You play as Jacob Lee, a cargo pilot who crash lands on Jupiter's moon and ends up trapped inside a prison where everything has gone horribly wrong. The place is crawling with infected inmates, and the story slowly reveals what caused it all as you fight to survive. It's not a mindless shooter. The combat makes you think. You've got melee weapons, a gravity glove to toss enemies around, and limited ammo that forces you to get up close more often than you'd like. Every fight feels tense because one mistake can easily get you killed. If you want something gritty that keeps you on edge the whole time, the Callisto Protocol is worth jumping into.
There was an outbreak. They killed everyone. I'm trying to contain it. I know who you are. I know what you did.
Before you is my greatest sin.
This is my kingdom. This has opened my eyes. Show me my purpose. Now, show me.
The first Berserker Khazan is a good choice when you're bored and want something that feels heavy and satisfying to play. You play as Khazan, once a respected general who gets betrayed and left for dead. The game kicks off with you barely surviving and setting out to figure out who turned on you and why. It's simple to follow, but the mystery keeps you curious the whole time. The gameplay is where it really shines. It's a mix of heavy-hitting melee combat and solid timing. Kind of like a Souls-like, but a bit faster and flashier. You'll dodge, block, and unleash special moves that feel powerful when you get the rhythm right. Enemies don't just stand there either. They hit back hard, so every fight feels earned. If you're in the mood for a story-driven action game with satisfying combat, the first Berserker Khazan is definitely worth a shot.
We are Banishers. We end suffering for those who live. We bring closure to those who don't.
There is no love, only betrayal.
This nightmare chose New Eden for a reason.
I'll do whatever I can to help.
If help we can, the nightmare will end, and Red and I shall do the ending. So I may have my resurrection, we'll kill people for our own ends.
We face a choice. If you're to come back, this is when it starts. Do we kill?
Banishers Ghosts of New Eden starts with two ghost hunters, Red and Antia, arriving in a cursed colony that's falling apart. Their job's supposed to be simple: help lost spirits move on and protect the living. But things take a bad turn fast. What follows is part ghost story, part love story, and part moral dilemma, with choices that actually make you stop and think for a second. Gameplay's a mix of third-person action and exploration. You switch between Red, who handles melee and ranged attacks, and Antia, who uses supernatural powers. It's not too complicated, but it stays fun because fights feel heavy and each encounter has a bit of strategy. You'll also spend time investigating hauntings, talking to people, and deciding whether to help or condemn certain spirits. Banishers' Ghosts of New Eden is a solid pick to spend a few nights with. Ghost of Tsushima is one of those games that makes time disappear fast. You play as Jin Sakai, a samurai trying to protect his island from Mongol invaders, and what starts as a mission of duty slowly turns into something more personal. The story doesn't rush. It lets you see Jin struggle between honor and survival, between tradition and what it takes to win. It's the kind of game you play when you just want to disappear into another world. You can ride your horse across wide open fields, sneak into enemy camps, or challenge someone to a duel under the rain. The combat's a mix of quick reflexes and patience. You can go full samurai and fight head-on, or move like a ghost and take enemies down quietly. If you're bored and want something that feels like a full adventure, relaxing one moment, intense the next, Ghost of Tsushima is a perfect pick. The Evil Within 2 is one of those games that grabs your attention fast and keeps you tense the whole way through. You play as Sebastian, a detective pulled back into a nightmare world called STEM to find his missing daughter. It's perfect if you're bored and want something that keeps your brain busy. The game mixes survival, horror, and action really well. You can sneak around, take enemies down quietly, or go all in when things get messy. Ammo's always tight, so every decision feels like it matters. The story's good too. Dark, weird, and full of moments that'll make you stop and go, "What did I just see?" But it's balanced with quieter scenes that remind you why Sebastian keeps going. If you want a horror game that's scary and actually tells a story worth following, The Evil Within 2 is one of the best picks to kill your boredom right now.
I couldn't save Lily from the fire.
You didn't believe your wife. You refused to see.
We can help each other. Join me.
Keep shooting until they're dead or we run out of ammo.
Once I have the power of the core, you will be truly free.
Are you all right?
Why wouldn't I be all right?
Now Pandora is under attack again.
Don't let the Na'vi get in our way. Get rid of them.
And I have a choice to make. I choose to protect my home.
It's been many years, warrior. Do you remember me? And I have not forgotten what I owe you.
Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora is one of those games that's perfect for when you're bored and just want to dive into something big and beautiful. You wake up on Pandora, stuck between Na'vi and humans, and suddenly you're freed. Now it's about exploring, surviving, and making choices that matter. Combat and traversal feel really solid here. Whether you're climbing vines, gliding across cliffs, or engaging in a firefight, the movement feels smooth. And when things get intense, and they will, you've got enough tools and flexibility to handle it your way. The world is wide and wild. Huge jungles, floating mountains, and creatures that roam around like they own the place. If you're up for a visual feast with adventure, danger, and a lot of room to explore, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora is one of those games that can make hours disappear fast. Resident Evil 2 Remake is one of those games that keeps you hooked, even when you just meant to play for a bit. You start as either Leon or Claire arriving in Raccoon City right as everything goes wrong. The outbreak's already spread, the police station's a maze, and almost no one's left alive. It's great for when you're bored because it keeps you on edge without wasting your time. You're always juggling ammo, health, and trying to decide whether to fight or run. Every hallway feels dangerous, and the game does a good job of keeping that tension steady without being frustrating. The story reveals itself little by little as you explore, and it's just enough to keep you guessing without giving away too much too soon. It's scary, but in that fun, adrenaline rush way where you keep telling yourself, one more room, and suddenly it's 2 a.m.
What exactly are you looking for?
More info on the people responsible for this mess.
What the?
I swear, you bastard, if you hurt her.
Identify yourself.
Stop! You'll never get the G-Virus! Sherry, come on!
Daddy, no!
The whole place is coming down.
Hand over the sample.
It'll be all over soon.
You don't know what you're up against.
I have a pretty damn good idea.
Claire, get out. Get out now!
Kena Bridge of Spirits is the kind of game that's perfect when you're bored and want something light but still engaging. Kena is a young spirit guide helping lost souls find peace in a village that's fallen apart. The setup sounds simple, but it's got a nice mix of action, puzzles, and story that keeps things moving without feeling too heavy. It's easy to get into, the combat's smooth, exploration feels rewarding, and you've got these little creatures called the Rot that help you out. They're cute, but they actually matter in gameplay, letting you lift objects, distract enemies, or solve puzzles. It keeps the game from ever feeling repetitive. If you're looking for something that's fun, pretty, and doesn't demand too much brain power, Kena Bridge of Spirits is one of those games that'll quietly pull you in for hours.
My father was a spirit guide. He helped many pass from this life to the next.
So you know what happens to spirits unable to move on.
Alan Wake 2 is the kind of game you fire up when you're bored and want something that'll surprise you. You go in thinking you might just get some action, but almost immediately, things get weird. The story jumps between two characters stuck in a messed up version of reality, and you never really know what to expect. What keeps it interesting is how it slowly pulls you deeper. Flashlight in hand, you start piecing together clues in dark cabins, searching through wrecked towns, and dodging things that don't belong. Every corner feels tense, and every new moment can shift what you thought you knew. The horror is balanced with mystery. The game doesn't shove everything in your face right away. It eases you in, giving just enough to make you want more. And the moments when things click, those are worth it. Alan Wake 2 is a solid choice to blow off some time.
Someone's been watching us.
How do you run from an idea? From a story that lives in your head?
You're the killer, the cult leader.
No! You've got the wrong man!
I don't want to be in the story, just write me out of the story.
I don't suppose you know how to fly this thing, do you?
Excuse me?
Nothing.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle throws you right into a proper adventure. Traps, puzzles, the whole deal. Set in 1937, Indy's chasing clues about an ancient mystery called the Great Circle. And of course, nothing goes smoothly. You'll explore dusty temples, frozen mountaintops, and a few places that definitely aren't in the travel brochures. It's fun because it mixes a bit of everything. One minute you're solving puzzles with ancient mechanisms, the next you're sneaking through enemy camps or swinging across gaps with Indy's whip. It's fast-paced without being overwhelming. The game gives you room to explore and actually feel like you're on an expedition instead of just running from fight to fight. If you're bored and want something with energy, exploration, and that classic adventure feel, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a great one to jump into. Sifu deserves a spot on any list of must-play games because it hits that perfect balance between frustration and satisfaction. You play as a young martial artist on a mission for revenge after everything's been taken from you. And every fight you win or lose actually matters. Each time you fall, you age, which changes how strong and fragile you become. The story doesn't get in your way, but it gives just enough reason to keep pushing forward. It's all about mastering the flow of combat, reading attacks, blocking, dodging, and countering with clean precision. Once it clicks, every encounter starts feeling like a scene out of a kung fu movie you're actually starring in. If you're looking for a game that makes every win earned and every loss a lesson, Sifu is one of those games that'll keep you replaying just one more round way longer than you planned.
Who would seek to stop this. You are nothing but a usurper, a false idol.
Doom Eternal is one of those games that kicks boredom straight out the door. You play as the Doom Slayer, coming back to Earth only to find it completely overrun by demons. There's not much talking, just you, your weapons, and everything that moves trying to kill you first. The story picks up right after the last game, but doesn't waste time with long cutscenes. You're dropped straight into chaos, and it's all about moving fast, staying aggressive, and never letting up. Every level's designed to keep the action going. One minute you're blasting through city ruins, the next you're deep in hellish arenas surrounded by explosions. It's the kind of gameplay that makes you forget time. If you're bored and want something that feels non-stop and just fun to play, Doom Eternal is one of the best ways to burn off that extra energy. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is one of those games that's just pure fun from the start. You jump in as Ratchet and his robot buddy Clank, and right away things go sideways when a device tears open portals between dimensions. Suddenly you're bouncing across worlds, meeting new characters, and trying to fix reality before it completely falls apart. It's simple, funny, and super easy to get into. It's a great pick when you're bored because there's always something happening. You're constantly swapping weapons, blasting through enemies, and using the rift mechanic to zip between areas instantly. The combat feels fast but never stressful, and there's a ton of variety in how you can approach fights. The game's visuals are insane too. Worlds load instantly, everything's colorful and smooth, and it honestly feels like playing a Pixar movie that lets you blow stuff up.
Lose. Ratchet, the Dimensionator.
Dr. Nefarious just crowned himself Emperor of this dimension.
We've got to get him and us out of here. But without the Dimensionator, the dimensions are weakening considerably. How bad is it?
To the depths with ya! How many arms you got, beast? We've been
Metaphor ReFantazio stands out as a great pick when you're bored and want a deep story to sink into. It takes place in a fantasy kingdom torn apart after the king's death, where a massive tournament will decide who becomes the next ruler. You play as a young traveler who gets caught up in that struggle, slowly uncovering secrets about the world and the people running it. The setup's simple, but it builds into something much bigger. Combat mixes strategy with style. It's turn-based but fast and flashy, giving you room to plan while still feeling dynamic. The team-building system also makes replaying worth it since there's no single right way to play. If you're after a game that offers story, freedom, and a solid reason to keep exploring, Metaphor ReFantazio is the kind of RPG that'll make hours disappear before you know it.
Races to the gallows, not just us, but any innocent folks he doesn't find use for.
It is a new dawn, and its light shines upon Lord Luis's king.
If that's the real world, then it can die alongside you!
I will not let you die in vain.
But we couldn't protect him. I'm sorry.
The man I fought beside was not so ruled by anger and malice.
Count Luis gave us a dream to fight for.
You can't save them from me. Fighting. That makes us who we are.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a perfect game when you're bored and want something that actually holds your attention. You play as Cal Kestis, a former Jedi hiding from the Empire. His journey starts with a simple mission to rebuild his life, but it quickly turns into a much bigger fight. You're chased, hunted, and forced to face your past while uncovering ancient secrets tied to the Force. What makes it such a solid pick right now is how fun it feels to play. Exploration is rewarding. Wandering temples, climbing walls, and unlocking shortcuts feels great. Combat is tight and satisfying without being too complicated. Lightsaber duels hit just right, and using Force abilities like push and slow gives fights a nice rhythm that keeps you engaged. When you just want a polished adventure that combines story and smooth gameplay, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order delivers from start to finish. Super Mario Odyssey is a game you can jump into when you're bored and instantly get hooked. The story kicks off with Bowser stealing Princess Peach again, but this time, he's planning a wedding. And that's just the start of a wild adventure across different worlds. You follow Mario through deserts, cities, snowy mountains, and even more unexpected places as he chases down Bowser and rescues Peach. What makes it so fun is how much freedom you have. You're not stuck on a single path. You can explore huge kingdoms however you want, find power moons hidden everywhere, and try out Mario's new moves with Cappy. Cappy lets you take control of enemies and objects, so sometimes running into a Goomba isn't a bad thing. It's a tool. If you're looking for something cheerful and easy to get lost in when you don't have much going on, Super Mario Odyssey is exactly that kind of game. Hi-Fi Rush is exactly the kind of game you want to play when you're bored and just want something fresh right now. You're Chai, a guy whose heart gets replaced with this experimental music device, so everything in the world starts moving to the beat. Enemies, attacks, even some parts of the environment. What makes it great to jump into when you're bored is how easy it is to get into the flow. Fighting feels smooth, combos feel satisfying, and the soundtrack actually matters. Hitting moves on beat stacks up your score and your style points. And every new area brings a fresh track that changes how it feels to play. If you want something upbeat, fast, and just plain fun to jump into when you don't know what to play, Hi-Fi Rush is one of those games that'll make time disappear without you even noticing.
Hold on, did you just feel that? That beat?
Well now, think we woke it up.
Angered it, more like.
Feast your eyes on the Turk's latest and greatest, Elena.
She may be new, but she's still a Turk.
Fear those you love. Reunion.
You murdered my dad! You burned my village!
You know that I killed her. So, who is she?
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth takes everything that worked in Remake and opens it up into something way bigger. The story continues after Remake, taking Cloud and the rest of the crew outside of Midgar and into a much wider adventure. You'll uncover new threats, meet new allies, and slowly piece together bigger parts of the overall story without feeling rushed. What makes it fun to play when you've got free time is how balanced it feels. There's exploration, big cinematic moments, and side quests that actually add something instead of feeling like filler. The mix of real-time combat and strategic commands keeps every fight exciting, whether you're facing a random creature or a full-on boss. If you're in the mood for a long adventure that blends story, action, and exploration perfectly, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth delivers the kind of experience that's hard to put down. The Outer Worlds 2 drops you into another wild sci-fi sandbox with tons to explore and even more choices to make. You're dropped into a new solar system run by greedy corporations where everyone's trying to sell you something, or shoot you. You play as the outsider caught in the middle of it all, trying to figure out who to trust and what's really going on behind the scenes. Gameplay is where this one really shines. It's an RPG at heart, so you build your character how you want. Strength, tech skills, stealth, and that actually changes how missions play out. Combat mixes shooting with tactical abilities, and you can pause time briefly to plan your next move if things get hectic. You'll swap weapons on the fly, use perks to customize your style, and let companions tag along to add their own twists in fights. Yeah, The Outer Worlds 2 is a fun way to spend your time.
More action. More weapons. And more graphics. Get ready for an adventure.
Marvel's Spider-Man throws you into the action fast, and it doesn't let up. You're Peter Parker, balancing regular life with being New York's friendly neighborhood hero. A new threat called the Inner Demons is rising, and that pushes you into bigger, crazier situations. But the story keeps you hooked without dumping everything on you at once. What makes it perfect for when you're bored is the gameplay. Swinging through the city feels effortless and fun. It's actually exciting just moving from place to place. Combat hits that sweet spot between smooth and hectic. You're dodging, webbing, using gadgets, and chaining combos all while staying light on your feet. It never feels repetitive because the pace stays tight and responsive. If you want a game that looks great and keeps you engaged no matter how long you play, Marvel's Spider-Man is one of those time disappears games you'll want to jump into.
Get more backup. Wait!
We've got to play this just right.